the Nina Lynn situation keeps getting worse. You know, the chick that got unbanned on Twitch after a 1-week ban for SA. She needs to be banned. True.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick update on the Nina Lynn situation. Now, I talked about
Let's hear it.
a couple times on the main channel, and honestly, at this point, she has been demoted to the alt channel because I am sick and tired of this woman, but the news regarding her has continued to go
and it's going to keep getting worse.
Forth, and in case you're not familiar with the lore, here's the last couple of episodes.
And she's not going to be the last one. There's going to be more.
The Dragon Ball here. A streamer by the name of Nina Lynn, not once, but twice, according to onlookers, sexually assaulted men live on Twitch. These were resurfaced clips from the last year, where after the first one resurfaced, she got a 1-day ban, and on the second resurfaced clip, she got a 1-week ban. And now she's back. And I have to say, this is one of the...
Yeah, and she just can't shut her fucking mouth about the whole situation. If she would have just continued on and was just quiet, it probably wouldn't be as bad.
Most repugnant individuals I have seen on Twitch and in streaming in general. And she attempted to apologize, but at this point, she is...
I don't think she even apologized. I think she had somebody type that up for her. There's no way that she was smart enough to type up something like that.
Mocked the entire situation. Like I said, she got unbanned after the second incident, just after a week, and she immediately returned to streaming, and she's mocking the entire situation. And this clip right here shows not just how brain dead she is, but how brain dead all of these people on the screen are right now.
I don't know how that is.
I don't think I mean...
Dude, they look at all of their eyes. It screams celebrity wannabe brain dead morons.
It is going this year. With the whole shit going on, they definitely not gonna let me go.
Yeah, what?
Why? The whole shit.
But you,
So?
what does that mean?
You're back. I am, but who knows?
Do you not know how many guys and streamers say homophobic shit? They've done so much shit and they're still gonna go?
I feel like they just like bashing you more because
They
you're
do.
a girl.
They do. No, you know what it is?
It's
It's
like
because they don't like outspoken girls.
Yeah.
They don't like
wait,
girls who talk
no.
big shit.
Actually, you need to go.
What the fuck are they talking about? Like, how's this content? How do people watch these people?
W Daisy with the 5 get there. No.
No, Nina Lynn and
Dude, I feel dumber after watching that.
friends. People are not mad because she's a outspoken woman. They're mad because she, according to many, very clearly sexually assaulted multiple men live on Twitch. If the roles were
Yeah,
reversed,
she's just a retarded bitch. And I don't know what the fuck Twitch is doing. Really, I think more of the heat should be on Twitch for allowing this kind of behavior.
I know it's kind of cliche, but if they were, it'd be one and done, with no question. But she gets not one, but 2 chances and only gets banned for a total of 8 days for the 2 incidences combined.
Actually, she's on her 3rd chance. She blew the first 2 chances.
And now she's got an attitude. Who makes these people famous? Also, I know Twitch,
Right?
like, she is
Probably botting. And just people talking about these people in general. I didn't know who Nina Lynn was until, you know, she got talked about. But I think she's just kind of in the inner circle.
not some gigantic star. She is not making you that much money. So, like, why are you putting up with this person?
Because she's friends with people on the inside, that's why.
But anyways, that's the update. She's back. She's more annoying than ever and more shameless than ever.
Yep. Absolute garbage. Twitch is a garbage platform. That's why I'll never stream there. This is the biggest fall off in YouTube history. I don't know what this is talking about. Oh, Idubbbz, it seems. All right, let's give her a click.
Phil Boxer takes issue with calling fentanyl poison.
Try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence.
They're not like
What?
he's like I know the trick. He's really trying.
Oh no, no.
Like
Dude, stop getting political. You don't know anything. You just read headlines and then you think you know something about it.
I know the trick. He's really trying to make it sound like you poison our people. It's like, yeah, when it's framed as if it's poison, when it's framed as poison, it's like,
Fentanyl is poison.
oh, okay. You know, there's a lot of Americans who are like, oh, he's protecting me. He's protecting me.
Well, why did all the
I think it's more like, get the fuck out of here. I think that's more like what people are saying.
people overdose from fentanyl whenever they didn't think they're taking fentanyl? I mean, what would you call? I call that a poison. I mean, what do you mean?
What a strong alpha brave defender of Americans. But then when you realize that he's just describing drugs, like obviously.
Well, yeah, fentanyl is used as a painkiller in some cases, but whenever you add it without telling
It gets fucking dumber. He's actually trying to say that it's like actually has uses. Like the people that are bringing it over here across the border are doing it for good reasons.
somebody, you're trying to poison them. What is this?
Fentanyl is killing people, but it's not like uniquely distributed from people off the coast.
Well, it's uniquely, so the reason why fentanyl's different is because there's such a small amount of it that can be deadly to somebody who doesn't have a tolerance to it. A very, very small amount of fentanyl could kill you. It can basically be
It most likely will kill you.
like invisible almost to somebody. I don't know why would he even say this.
But yeah,
Because he's retarded.
you frame it as poison instead of drugs, and it's like, okay.
Well, it's being distributed as poison. Whenever you're buying, let's say you're trying to buy Valium, remade pills, right? They don't have like the V on them or anything like that. And then you put fentanyl in the pill, it's fucking poison. Not
And they're
Valium.
doing all these like bullshit projections as well. They were like, oh yeah, for every drug boat blown up, that's saving 50,000 American lives.
Theoretically.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Painkillers in hospital. Yes, exactly. Painkillers in hospital.
If he would never even brought up the whole painkillers thing, his argument might have some kind of stand compared to where his stand is now.
Equals medicine. Painkillers out of hospital equals poison.
Yes, but unironically. What? I don't... What?
That is the dumbest take that I've ever heard about anything ever. What the fuck is he talking about? I think he's just speaking off the top of his mind and blowing smoke and just pulling it out of his ass.
Sometimes whenever I listen to Idubbbz explain his point of view with things, I genuinely think that he got CTE from boxing. Like, I hate Trump so much, I'm going to start smoking fentanyl now. That'll show him. There's a lot of criticize about the guy, but this is the stance he chooses to argue. I'm starting to believe the brain damage theory. Really strange take. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Idubbbz got fucked up by his wife, so you think...
He thinks that he could get political. He thinks he's smart when it comes to politics. And he watches a lot of politics, probably. But he's watching a bunch of dumb people.
He got CTE from his wife and not from boxing. I mean, not really a concussion. It's just she fucked up his head worse than getting punched in the head. I mean, many such guys have had situations like that. It would not be the first.
So we got some Mizkif updates. Oh boy, it's been a while since we talked about Mizkif. I thought we were kind of done with him, except for the whole, lawsuit thing. But let's see what the updates are from Quinn Theo. It's been a while since I reacted to Quinn Theo also, since pretty much the Pirate Software saga.
Mizkif is kind of tweaking out right now on his social media. This video is going to...
Yeah, emphasis on tweaking, because I think that he is tweaking on amphetamines.
Be a cut down segment from my live stream where I went over this topic and went over some of the newer updates to the situation with Mizkif. I do want to be upfront right now though that this is not going to have as much content, as much new information that I typically have in videos like these. I'm saying this because I've kind of built myself up to be respectful of my viewers' time, but I recognize there's not as much content here as I usually have, and I'm just giving you a warning now. If you just want to see the clips that we're covering, I'm going to leave 2 timestamps down in my comment that's going to be pinned below. But with all that out of the way, hope you enjoy the video. So Mizkif is kind of back. He's been actually making posts. He's
What's with the milkman hat?
not really spoken about anything. He has recognized that he's kind of getting canceled right now, and he's being really weird. I'd say he's more like tweaking a little bit. I don't know if I'd really call it a crash out, so sorry for a bit of the clickbait, but he's doing really weird shit. So the first thing that I want to show you, he's posting on his Instagram, which is, all right, like clearly it's not where his main viewership is. But the first thing I want to show you guys is one that
There's a reason why he would post on Instagram where his main viewership isn't.
You guys probably already have seen. This is the first one. A lot of people had already seen this 4 days ago. He posted this.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
So
What the fuck was that? That was so weird.
Here's the thing. All right, we don't truly know. He doesn't explain why he posted this. He doesn't explain the context of it. I think you guys are intelligent enough. We've got a little bit of an understanding what context clues are. It's strange. I've heard that this is kind of a response to people getting canceled, or like they feel like everyone's like pushing it on them to kind of like go with it or something. This is my take, so take that with a grain of salt. From my understanding, based off what I'm seeing, he's playing into this victim idea where he's, you know, being approached by the internet, right? And this person came up, spat on him, said, fuck you. And he's like, he doesn't even know why he's getting this hate, why he's getting shit on for this. Now, maybe he's doing that to be ironic. Given Mizkif's history, he's not really known for being really funny. He's known for being cringe funny. I doubt that he would ever do something like that unironically, or excuse me, ironically.
Yeah, he probably thinks this is super deep, and he's like, he actually thinks this is what's happening to him. I agree.
It really comes off as he thinks he's a victim in this situation.
Yep.
That he is a victim of these people coming out of nowhere and just trying to cancel him. This shouldn't have come out of nowhere, as he was found and admitted on his own stream after Emeru put out her statements that he...
Yeah, don't do bad shit. I don't know what else to say about it. That's the whole reason that this whole situation is happening to him, is because he's a bad person.
Spoke to one of her employees at TwitchCon and said if they ever spoke about shit that he was going to go nuclear. Matter of fact, in his statement, he clarified
that sounds like blackmail to me.
No, he didn't say he was going to destroy her like Emeru said, that he was going to go nuclear. If there was any signal for Emeru to get ahead of what was to come and to just get the information out, seeming that Mizkif was like trying to blackmail her or something like that, that would have been the time when he referenced that he would do something like this. I don't know. I think maybe he...
If you say bad shit about me that happened behind the scenes, then I'm going to say bad shit about you. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. Don't do bad shit behind the scenes.
Is just rage baiting, knowing that he needs to squeeze a few more views out before his viewership just fucking tanks after this. Asmongold also spoke about this. I'll include it in the full video, so here it is.
Everybody obviously wanted to talk about the lawsuit and everything. I'm honestly not really sure what's going on with that, and so I'm not going to comment on it right now. That's really about all I have to say. Like, I don't know enough about it right now to look into it or go into it at all. But yeah, it's literally just that simple. And because obviously it involves other people, I'm just not going to comment on it at this point. I mean, I will say this, that to the extent that I can talk about it, I will. And to the extent that I know what's going on, I will let people know if I can. But obviously, you know, with something like that, it's very serious. And so I have to address it in a serious way. It's just the way it is.
He's not comfortable talking about it yet. He will talk.
I'm glad that I finally saw an Asmongold take on this, because I haven't heard anything from Asmongold about the whole Mizkif lawsuit situation.
About what he's capable and able to talk about. But as of right now,
I figured he wasn't going to say anything. I figured that he was going to just keep his mouth completely shut and not even say that.
He has to treat it seriously. That also does kind of put a damper on what I believe to be, or maybe this will help. I'm going to attach another clip here. He had made reference to the fact that there was potentially another huge like story that was going to come out around Mizkif. There were 5 separate witnesses.
There's probably going to be more than just one. There's probably going to be one big one and a bunch of little ones to follow it.
Witnesses to the event that he was referencing. And the only reason that it hadn't come out yet is because those 5 different individuals were seeking legal counsel in preparation for coming forward with that story.
And I will say too, I know people get mad at me for this. There are other stories of things that...
Yep, if you look up Mizkif on X, you'll see the rumors, which a bunch of the big rumors ended up being true. So, you know.
Will be points on the same graph making the same line. I said it last time. People got mad. They said I was vague posting. The story that I would tell you has 5 other witnesses. And again, I apologize for being vague, but just give it a couple of days. If you want me to be completely as transparent as I can be, it's because I want to make sure that these people have legal counsel before they say anything because they're worried because they don't have the position that Emmy or I do, and that's the reason. I would say it myself. I'm not going to do that.
That, I'm assuming, given that this lawsuit has started up with...
I wonder if it has anything to do with his ex before Emiru. What was her name? Was it Mia?
Asmongold referencing that might actually end up dissuading those people. They might chill, take a step back because they don't want to get into this mess. Or alternatively, this could give them the courage to actually come forward with it, because what are the odds that Mizkif is embroiled in a lawsuit and then chooses to take on another one at the same time? Admittedly, I don't know how the system works. Maybe they would end up delaying it so that it would come after that one. But if he gets absolutely fucking steamrolled in this first one, it's going to be weird. It's going to be tough for him to follow that up with trying to sue again. That's all banking on this story even coming to light. But I digress. So this came out...
You know, this whole situation sucks, but I'm kind of here for it, man. It's fun to watch all of these streamers suing each other over doing dumbass shit behind the scenes, really actual disgusting shit. It's just, you know, absolute cinema. I might as well go get me another bag of Cheez-Its or some popcorn or something.
A day ago, I'm assuming yesterday, and I'll just let it play. I don't even want...
That... Oh, hold on.
A day ago, I'm assuming yesterday.
That looks like one of the gay prison mates in The Longest Yard.
And I'll just let it play. I don't even want to. It's so fucking loud. That's him just showing that he's getting a hair transplant. More specifically, I want to show you guys what he says at the very beginning. Let me try to refresh it.
Or being canceled.
Because he's super insecure. I'm going bald and I don't give a fuck, man.
Let's go get a hair transplant.
He says, day 4 of getting canceled. Let's go get a head transplant. And then it's this really fucking loud, obnoxious music. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's kind of like I don't give a fuck. I'm getting canceled. I'm just going to embrace it and then get viewership off the hate viewing. If I had to just make a guess, and again, I know I say this a lot, but I'm just some dude on the internet that's been watching drama and like doing it for a job for a little bit. So like truly, this is just my opinion. Mizkif comes off as a person who genuinely believes that they are correct. I originally, when I was first...
that's called narcissism and probably a little bit of psychopathy.
Kind of covering this stuff and looking at the 2022
maybe a sociopath. He might be all the paths.
Allegations. Also, check out Turkey Tom's video. He did a really good in-depth recovering all of that. I was planning to do that and he beat me to the punch. But he is a very well in-depth talking about the 2022 coverage. I'm less inclined to believe that Mizkif is this malicious person who's like going out of their way to be vindictive and everything. I think
he's just retarded and thinks that he's the king.
He's so narcissistic or so full of himself that he genuinely believes that what he's saying is true and sees the world in the frame of reference that he talks about. Obviously,
I think a lot of people around in that culture do the same thing, like Hassan Piker. I think a lot of those people just do that. Nina Lynn, you know.
Obviously, he has the ability to lie. He has the ability to make shit up. But I genuinely think that he thinks he is God's gift to streaming, to the world. And when he gets into moments like these, he thinks that this is the biggest middle finger to people, and he feels really good about this.
Yeah, he thinks it's punk rock, but it makes him look like a fucking crybaby who's just buying into the hate.
Like, he genuinely believes that he's going to come out of this on top, which, I mean, we don't know. We're not lawyers. We have no idea, but I think he's just reveling in it. I think he just enjoys being in this position where he believes he's right, and he thinks...
And he's going to have to stay in that position forever now. And you know what that makes him? It makes him a lol cow. Whenever people just go to his content to make fun of him, and then he buys into it. That's all that he's ever going to be. That's the only audience that he's ever going to have now.
Everyone else is wrong and stupid and below him. I'm not a psychologist. I have no basis for that other than watching his behavior and just like, I'm a people person. Take that for what it is. But it's just, it really rubs people the wrong way and it gets people to watch. That's been his whole thing with being the streamer that he is. He connects.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what to do. I think he's falling apart.
People, and he's really cringy, and he gets clip farmed the ever-loving fuck out of in every stream because of how he acted. And for the longest time, like I'll pull up a clip for the video that I'm going over with this, of when he was interacting with Cinna.
I'll go. No, I actually don't want you to go. My grandma would kill me if I brought you.
Why, some white?
No, it's because you're like a fucking psychopath.
She said it herself, man. You got that right.
I cannot. I don't need to be psycho.
Miz, when you're normal, even at parties, you stand around like this with a drink, and then you walk up to people and you're like, you know, I wouldn't talk to you if your viewership wasn't as high, you know? Like, that's literally what you do all the fucking time. You bring up viewership even at parties. You're so annoying. You're so annoying.
Chat, because these people aren't real, dude. I don't take any of you seriously because you're not.
You're a fucking ego asshole.
Because I don't take any of you seriously because you're not actually my friends.
You literally bitch. You're so annoying.
What's the point of taking you all
so
seriously?
fucking
I don't
annoying.
care about you, any of you.
Can you play the song, please? Because you're gonna make me cry.
Because they're all basically coworkers. I mean, I see where he's coming from. He is kind of right. But he is one of those people also.
All of you to me are just, you know what you are? You're all just numbers.
Up until now.
And so is he. Like, all that he's focused on is views. He's just numbers.
One has looked at all of these little crash outs and little clips and going, oh, it's a character, they're being funny, like there's a little bit of truth, but like
it's his character. He just kind of exaggerates it a little bit.
It's for the show. Versus now we're looking at all of this in its entirety, this magnum opus of Mizkif, and knowing the context that this is how he acts behind closed doors, and finding out that all of those cringe clips that we thought were maybe a bit theatrical, maybe a bit, you know, put on for show, are him just being genuine. And he actually believes these things, and it's mind-blowing. I prefer remaining objective with this kind of stuff, and Mizkif, like, I'm not a psychologist. I'm never gonna be able to diagnose someone that I watch with, like, NPD. I love psychology. It was my goal to do that before if I was going to college. I didn't end up doing it, but like I can't say any of that with sincerity. I would need someone who actually is, you know, familiar with that stuff to even look at this. And you could never guess, because no one ever usually shows themselves for who they are on screen or on social media. But kind of in tandem with...
I kind of do. I don't really hold anything back, but I pretty much don't do anything, so it's not hard for that to come across on screen.
With the Mizkif stuff, of course, Emeru is completely intertwined with all of this, and we actually got an update from Twitch in regard to Emeru and her assault that took place at TwitchCon. For those who don't know, need a refresher, she got attacked at her TwitchCon meet and greet that she needed to do so that she could host her own show while she was at TwitchCon, and a man just crossed over multiple barriers, no security stopping him, grabbed her, tried to kiss her, and the only guy that stopped her was her own personal security that she had brought. The second bodyguard that she had brought. The first one being barred from entering any TwitchCon because he did his job a year prior. He stopped someone, held them in place, didn't even like physically assault them or anything, just held them in place. And her original...
Probably because something was actually being done, and they can't have that. They want bad things to happen.
Guard was
That's why they were, you know, they had to ramp up security, but they were also selling knives at TwitchCon. Like, get fucking real, dude. What are you doing?
All of this ends up happening. Twitch...
By the way, I think it's because they're taking funny money from terrorist organizations, and I'm not talking about just Muslim ones. I'm talking about leftoid ones. I'm talking about ones in America. I think Democrats are a terrorist organization.
God, it was like a Watch Mojo top 10 of the worst reactions and follow-ups to someone getting assaulted at your event. They just kind of were like, eh. And Dan Clancy, the, you know, owner, CEO of Twitch, effectively said, yeah, you know, you can ban those people from your chat. You can kind of ignore them. But what can you do? You know, we can only do
but you can't ban them from other people's chats.
our best. They also said that they were like the cream of the crop of...
And if somebody's talking about you, somebody's talking bad about you, you can't really stop those people and their chats.
Security and safety, which I don't remember anyone claiming they were. A bit late, I would say. They have tried to rectify the situation, and they've done so by maybe apologizing a bit more and donating money, putting money on the problem to try to make it go away. This is from...
Yep, and Emeru was the one who signed off on it. Like, come on, man. She shouldn't have got herself involved in this. Nobody likes Twitch. This doesn't... The timing of it was not good with the whole Nina Lynn situation. It was just really bad.
Which Dan Clancy ends up replying to it. We wanted to follow up on the post we recently made about a security incident at TwitchCon San Diego. As many of you know, at the 2025 TwitchCon San Diego event, one of our valued creators, Emeru, was assaulted by an attendee during a meet and greet event. Although Twitch works very hard to try to keep TwitchCon's attendees safe and to prevent incidents like this from happening, We failed to do both things in this case, to keep Emeru safe and to prevent the assault from happening. We deeply regret the distress we caused for Emeru, our other creators, and the entire community. In recognition of Emeru's advocacy, Twitch will be making a donation to support nonprofit organizations working to prevent sexual violence. More details on that to follow soon. What if they use that money that they're donating to this nonprofit and invested it into firing and hiring new security and safety for their own company? I don't think
because that would actually mean they'd have to do something. It's easy just to pay $100,000 to like a charity organization.
Anyone's worried about some nonprofit organizations that are that are working to prevent that. How about you work to prevent it? How about you keep your creators safe? That would be sick. That would be cool. It's the most blatant.
And Emeru kind of was just like, all right, here you go. Twitch has made it better because they prevented me from possibly being SA'd in the future. And I'm all that matters, without thinking about everybody else that had issues. All of the other issues that wasn't this whole Emeru situation. Like, what about that? What about the VTubers situation? Nothing from all of that. Okay,
we have money we give to charity. We're good now, right? We gave money to people that might be getting assaulted. Okay, well, funnily enough, you're not going to believe this. There was a community note added to this bad boy. Twitch has lied on several occasions regarding the incident, letting the assailant go after the attack and withholding evidence from authorities. This is incompetence. Dan Clancy called Emeru a friend, despite going on to victim blame her, and he was out partying during all this. He ended up he replied on this tweet, which, believe it or not, Dan Clancy also got community noted. Twitch failed in our response to the assault of Emeru at 2025 TwitchCon San Diego, and I don't know why he needs to specify the year. Sorry. And in particular, I failed to communicate clearly in talking about the incident afterwards during an interview. I do not believe, and in no way intended to suggest, that Emeru had any responsibility whatsoever for the incident at TwitchCon. Here's the clip of him saying and essentially victim blaming Emeru for having this person come to her.
The safety of our creators is a top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so
yeah, he's acting like that guy was a part of Emeru's community and that she should have done something about it. That's exactly what he was saying there. He probably didn't mean it that way, but that is what he said. And you know, it would have just been better if he just didn't talk to this lady, because she's fucking retarded. But if he just would have shut the fuck up about this whole thing in the first place.
That those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. You know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about.
I have a great deal of empathy for what creators such as Emeru have to deal with.
Empathy! That Idubbbz empathy.
Every day. I was trying to express that, and I did that poorly. I'm sorry I let you down, Emeru, and I am so sorry Twitch let you down. We appreciate all that you have done over the years on Twitch, and we are committed to continuing to improve our TwitchCon security, processes, and communications so that we can show up better for you and all of our creators moving forward. Twitch lied.
Yep, and they posted this right after Nina Lynn got unbanned.
Multiple times about the incident, letting the assailants go and withholding evidence from authorities. Dan Clancy partied while victim blaming Emeru, whom he called a friend. Nina Lynn was banned, then quietly unbanned a week later. So this is the most textbook. If you're ever wondering, our class.
Yeah, this is the corporate PR bullshit
of soon-to-be prospective owners of companies that deal with public-facing employees like content creators. This is what damage control looks like, and it's what it looks like when it's a little too late. I'm kind of baffled that they followed up in this manner so long after the fact, and that during this, they're allowing a streamer. This woman sexually assaulted a man on stream, got called out for it, got banned for a week. That brings that live stream segment to a close. If you were interested to hear about that Nina Lynn story, I actually have that video coming out the following day after this upload. So
yep, nah, Nina Lynn. Oh. Yep, she needs to be banned. Mizkif needs to probably take a break from the internet at the very least. But, like, he's just going to forever be a lolcow if he doesn't do something. He's going to have to back down. He's going to have to apologize. He's going to have to change. And I just don't think that he's going to do that because he's like Hassan. He doesn't want to admit fault. He doesn't want to admit he's wrong. Everybody else is wrong except for him, which, by the way, can happen. Sometimes you can be right and every single person on the planet be wrong. But not in this case. So I don't know what's going on here. Why would you make this response video? But if Penguin Zero is talking about it, it's probably pretty important.
I'm on a losing streak in League as my elo's being terrorized by criminals left unchecked on Summoner's Rift, so I'm not really in a good mood and I'm not feeling really nice, but I took a breather.
Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you play that game?
And the first thing I see on YouTube's recommended is this puppy right here from Nud Fulmer about
Never heard of him
trying to address the backlash to his podcast. This was posted 5 days ago. I don't know why it's getting recommended now. Maybe because I made a video on the podcast like a month or two ago. I don't know how long it's been now. About how it's like one of the most awkward podcasts ever filmed. So now YouTube decided,
Charles, I do remember this. I reacted to this.
We know you've had a bad day, but don't worry. We've got your medicine right here. It's just what the doctor ordered. A nice dog shit apology from Ned. That's not his wife in the bed, Fulmer. Joy. Can't wait.
Hello.
Woo! Internet drama.
I've heard a lot of the commentary and reactions to my podcast episode with Ariel, and I wanted to take this video to address some of them. That episode with Ariel was mostly about her story, and now in this video, I'll tell a little bit more of mine.
Did we watch the same podcast, Ned? You sure about that? Was it really mainly her story? Because it seemed like you were the one kind of guiding the whole conversation that you...
Yeah, wasn't it the thing where, didn't he, like, cheat on his girlfriend and was talking to her about how that made her feel or something like that?
You were kind of steering the ship here, which is one of the major complaints. Not only was the whole thing a terrible idea from the get-go, bringing in the wife that you cheated on with one of your employees to just kind of talk about it in front of everybody, which is just always going to be weird to hear, just being the fly on the wall for a very uncomfortable conversation like that. But the conversation also went with you in the driver's seat, which feels like the antithesis of what it should have been with letting your wife air out everything. And if it was supposed to be therapeutic for your...
And really, you shouldn't have made that public. You shouldn't have made a podcast about it. That was just a huge L. Money grab situation.
Wife, why wasn't she the one that was kind of in charge to lead this discussion?
And why was it even a thing in the first place?
Was you. Pull off the mask of the villain here for the Scooby-Doo episode. It's Nud Fulmer. Like, it's just... You're not even... like digesting the comments that you're supposed to be addressing.
There's a lot that we wanted to keep private, but some things I'll touch on today.
Hey, bud.
Then why make it public at all? If you got to keep things private, why make it public? Because that means we just don't have all of the information. So what's the point? You shouldn't have said anything at all. These people on the internet, man, they just don't know how to shut the fuck up.
Personally think all of it should have been kept private.
Yep.
You don't owe the internet an explanation for what's going on after your cheating. There's no reason to invite everyone inside for all the dirty laundry and everything behind the scenes. Just keep it private. I think that probably would have been the healthiest thing for all parties involved. That's just
he probably hasn't ever seen views like that, so he decided he was going to make a response. Because views, they're a hell of a drug.
My personal opinion on the matter, but I gotta tell you, I think a lot of people shared that sentiment because this is something so personal and so devastating that putting it all out here in the public just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially when it seems like the main purpose of it was to launch your podcast, the fucking rock bottom podcast, whatever garbage that is, which, by the way, nobody's watching that. First episode blew up because nobody could believe that you would actually bring on your ex-wife to discuss you cheating on her with one of your employees. That is just an unhinged idea.
First, I know that it was a very painful and uncomfortable conversation to watch.
Yeah, maybe if it was framed as if it was like interrelationship drama, then maybe it would have worked. But I think they were doing it as like a serious feelings type of podcast.
I know for some of you, it reopened things. For us, it felt like a necessary step to be able to move forward. We knew we
Yeah, they got real serious about it. That's why this is such a fucking stupid issue.
would always get these sort of questions in any context online. And it felt like the only way to move forward was just to face it head on.
On a podcast that you're launching? That was really the only way? Look, man, far be it for me to question how Ariel wants to heal and move on from this. That's entirely her decision to make. But if this was a necessary step to try and address things head on, why did it have to be on your podcast that you are launching on the back of this episode that is exploring her feelings on having her whole life devastated from your unfaithfulness? That surely is not the only way. If you wanted to address everything...
Yep, and now she's got to relive that moment over and over and over again.
Like head on, you know, both feet planted, getting like rough and tough with it. Why not just release like a joint statement or something, perhaps, if you needed this to be a public-facing thing in order to move on to, you know, clear the air of everything and rumors and whatever. It didn't need...
Or he could have just done what Dr. Disrespect did and just been like, hey guys, I cheated on my wife. That sucks. I'm a horrible person. All right, moving on.
Need to be in an hour and a half or whatever podcast that you're starting. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, unless of course the actual motivator for it is to try and get back onto YouTube and be able to make money on the platform again. Because he is launching a product with it.
As has been reported in
1,000%. That's what it was about. I knew it.
Interviews, launching the podcast with a conversation with Ariel was Ariel's idea. She's a stakeholder in the Rock Bottom podcast and this new channel, and she wants it to be successful. So that was part of the reason why, in terms of having that conversation, we did it together rather than on any other platform.
I couldn't possibly know the inner workings of this business partnership. Haven't seen the...
It sounds fucking ridiculous and retarded.
Contracts. All I can say is that feels very odd to me, because this seems like a business partnership strategy that heavily favors Ned. So I don't fully understand that, but I just really think that this is something that didn't need to be shared in this fashion.
Yep, I feel like I'm losing brain cells every day that I stay on the internet because of shit like this. It's fucking ridiculous.
After Discovery, I started an intensive...
I'm flabbergasted.
...program of therapy, group therapy, and work to really try to understand what I had done, why I had done it, and what it meant for my relationship and my life.
That's cool, man. I'm not your therapist, but I feel like the reason you did what you did
was for views and money.
Is because it's something you wanted to do. In the podcast and in here too, he keeps making it seem as though he didn't know that this would be painful for his wife to be fucking one of his employees.
Yeah, he's retarded and a freak.
Which I think is so odd, especially the way he presents that. But he's talking about like his journey to coming to terms and realizing that what he did was bad and realizing that what he did is cheating.
All of these mental clouds that help you continue behavior that you know is hurtful, and you still do it anyways. So it let me face the truth.
He frames it like this was just an accident.
And acknowledge in no uncertain terms that I cheated on my wife with an employee of my business, and
that's really bad.
Caused her immense pain, and
especially the fact that it was with an employee.
Shattered our marriage.
Yeah, but was there ever any real uncertainty there to begin with, though, Ned? I feel like even if you had just been lobotomized, you would still be able to recognize that fucking someone that's not your wife is bad.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being lobotomized. I gotta move on from this story, because this was just too retarded, man. It's too stupid. I feel like my brain is melting out of my skull. Hopefully I don't get taken down for copyright for reacting to this trailer. Fallout Season 2 official trailer. Dude, I am so excited for this. All of the Fallout New Vegas stuff. Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm going to be playing it on stream pretty soon, probably in a couple weeks. I got to finish all the new Resident Evil games. But anyway, let's check out this trailer, and hopefully I don't get taken down for this. If there's any kind of music, I'm going to just mute it.
So I've seen a lot of things.
Oh, there's music.
Crazy things.
I'm not going to mute it.
Unnatural things.
Oh, wait, I'm not on YouTube. Haha, I don't have to worry about it.
But good people? No. That girl I met. I would be a good person too if I grew up in some cozy little impenetrable home. I would have to steal and stab and fib all the goddamn time just to get by.
Whoa. What was the younger guy's name? The small guy, is it like Norman, something like that? Ned? I don't remember.
Plan on doing once we find your daddy.
Gonna bring him to justice. So people know that how they conduct themselves matters.
I'm gonna have to rewatch season 1.
Don't give up hope.
The stuff we fight for. Story has it you used to believe in those things too.
I wish I had for 200 years. I've kept myself alive for one reason. To find my family.
So we're getting a Fallout 4 kind of situation going here.
Well then, you're gonna need friends.
Oh?
There's a war coming.
Was that a super mutant? Oh, the desert. That lady had a carrot, it seemed. Whoa, what is this place? Hold on. What is this? I see... Is this like up here? Is this Los Angeles?
I understand we're discussing a civil war.
No, it wouldn't be Los Angeles. What would it be? What's the town in, or the city in California that has the really famous pier? I don't remember.
I must not have gotten my invitation.
Oh, my man.
We're actually beginning to get along.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. That's Macaulay Culkin. What's he doing here? You testing on rats? Las Vegas. Hey! That's Novak. I recognize that place. We got vehicles in Fallout. We got vehicles in a Fallout game. But I guess this is a show, so I don't know if it counts. Versus a Death Claw.
Vegas, huh? I'd ask why my dad ran into a den of monsters, but he'd probably just tell me to shut the fudge up.
I don't blame him. December 17th. That's right before my birthday, man. I cannot wait. I'm so hyped for this. The games industry has a problem. Yeah, it's got a lot of problems. But what is this particular problem that we speak of?
I thought this was really funny. The same thing that happened to Black Myth Wukong last year is happening now to Expedition 33 this year. You're having these industry events and industry groups that are finding ways to disenfranchise. And yes, I know, isn't it insane? It's like it's so obviously biased and bullshit that I don't know how anybody can put up with this. It's shocking to me, isn't it?
What is this? Is this Expedition 33?
Yeah, bullshit. Yes, it's crazy. Look at it. What? I'm assuming that's what this is about, right?
12 months, a Eurogamer reviewer has apparently
Well, welcome to the deep meta where I react to a reaction.
been haunted by the 5-star review that he gave to Dragon Age the Veilguard. His
Jesus.
words are, "It plagues me." His review called it the best Dragon Age and the best BioWare game he's
I remember reading this, bro. Like, it made me...
Dude, it makes me lose brain cells. Oh, man. Oh, I'm losing so many brain cells tonight.
so mad.
My brain is being cooked.
played.
Should've
5
been
out of
illegal.
5, a perfect score, a masterpiece.
Yep.
1 year later, he admits he doesn't think it's a 5-star game, doesn't think it's BioWare's best, says it's been haunting him for the last 12 months.
I can respect...
Yeah, you lied. You lied. Why? To get better clout from the industry?
A little bit of accountability. Yes, it's haunting him like a ghost, the fact that he said this game was good. I think that's what you deserve.
Yet the
True.
score's still up, still there, still...
We tried to tell you, man. We tried to tell you. Like, get the politics out of the games. It's ruining everything.
misleading people.
Sure.
But it gets worse. The same week that article dropped, the Grammys announced...
Well, Eurogamer is totally captured by identity politics and progressive values.
Yep.
So they don't really provide reviews anymore. They provide propaganda. And I think that all of the
True.
review websites should transition to not aggregating critic scores and elevating them or separating them from user scores. I think all critic scores should just go into the same pile as a user score. Why is it that a critic that got hired...
I don't care about either. I don't care about critic scores or user scores. I watch a bunch of people that have, you know, similar views as I do, play similar games as I do, to tell me if a game's worth it or not. Even 6 out of 10 games I love.
For $30 to write an article about why a game is good, why is it that his review gets elevated over somebody who's played it for 200 hours? There's obviously something wrong there.
their best video game soundtrack nominations. Star Wars Outlaws made the list, so did Avatar and Indiana Jones. Guess what didn't? Claire Obscure Expedition 33, one of 2025's highest rated games, arguably game of the year for most.
Arguably game of the decade for a lot.
5 million copies sold, #1 on the Billboard classical chart for 10 weeks. One of the best game soundtracks in a decade. Got nothing, not even a mention. Same week, same industry, same broken machine that decides what you're supposed to play. And if you're still trusting these people, then listen up. Dragon Age the Veilguard scored an 84 critic score on Metacritic.
These people, they give reviews for video games based off of criteria that nobody cares about. They're giving reviews for games based off of their representation of minority groups. They're giving reviews for games based off of...
Do you have the trans flag colors in your game? Because that seems to be a running theme.
The graphics of, you know, the tree bark or the ripples in the water or something like that. And again, what is the... who cares about a review? Why does anybody give a shit about a review? The reason why reviews matter is because they're meant to inform the customer to make an educated decision with their money. But the problem is that reviews that are co-opted by politics, social perspective, or some other type of ideology are ending up basically overriding the best interest of the consumer. And that's the real problem. It's the perversion and manipulation.
And I'm completely fine with it. If you want games to be like that, I'm just not going to play them. And so many people have the same feelings as I do.
Of a platform for an intentional goal.
Critic. User score of 3.9. Says it all.
3.9.
We all know the reason why by now.
I think that's probably a little bit too high.
Without even mentioning this thing, the game went through multiple reboots.
Well, the game just wasn't very good. I mean, I played the game a lot. It wasn't very good.
11 years, nearly became a live service game, had to be rescued by a Mass Effect team sent in to salvage what was left. The development was a mess, the writing was even worse somehow, the game showed it. But sure, 5 stars, BioWare's best game ever, according to this guy. Now 12 months later, he admits, I don't think it's a 5-star game, says that when asked if he'd score it differently now, he said yes, I would. Probably land on 4 stars now.
Are you serious, man? Are you fucking serious? Okay.
So you're still retarded. You're just not as retarded.
No, I think this is more retarded. To go back and say, well, I don't think it's perfect. It's still very, very good. I think that's more retarded. Because, like, you broke for the mob that was against you. And you went half-assed with it.
You're saying like, nah, bro. I'm still retard, but like, I'm not like how I was. Like that part of my life is past me.
Which is even more retarded.
Probably 4 stars, maybe,
Totally
but he's
different.
not sure. What he is sure about is it's haunted him, plagues him, been thinking about it for 12 months. Poor
Good.
bloke, 12 months of torment. Still won't change the score though, because apparently Eurogamer's policy is reviews are a snapshot in time. You can't...
I think that's fine if you want to say reviews are a snapshot in time.
Yep, and it's just gonna mean that everyone's gonna see that you're retarded and have been forever.
I don't have a problem with that. There's a lot of games that age badly. Monster Hunter Wilds is a great example of that.
To them, not something they do. And of course they don't, right? It's a convenient policy when your snapshot's bordering on a lie. They could add an editor's note, a correction, something that says they got this wrong, but no.
Well, no, the fact is that Eurogamer is one of the most politicized, one of the most biased, and one of the most unfair websites in terms of giving reviews and
Yeah, how do they making money? How do they stay in business? Like, who listens to these people? Are they? I think they're all just shaking hands and giving money to each other, and they get all of the money from like social media clicks for one. But another, I think they're being driven by people who are handing them money, who are drip feeding them and having them push propaganda in exchange for money.
giving feedback and like any sort of information about news about games. Like they are basically a tool for propaganda. They're not a video game review website. They are a vehicle for people to use video games and...
By the way, before all of this was happening, before COVID happened, they were telling us that they were going to do this. People were talking about, like, we need to start pushing our politics in culture, in everything, in the video games, in the movies. And people like me were trying to warn people that it was coming. And did anybody listen? Nope. And here we are. People are finally coming around.
Exploit them for propaganda reasons. That's what it really is.
5-star reviews, sits there still recommending the game, still calling it BioWare's best, still misleading people who stumble across it looking for guidance. So why did he give it 5 stars in the first place? Because the system's designed to produce exactly this result. Publishers fly critics to preview events.
That's not the reason why. The reason why they gave it such a high rating is because of all the diversity and DEI stuff. That's the reason why. If it didn't have any of that, people would have rated it very low.
And they said that they were going to do that. They were going to give extra points for DEI.
It's just basically what happens is that critics and reviewers try to take an oppositional perspective from people.
I don't care if the game is good. It aligns with me politically, so it's 10 out of 10.
People like me or anybody else who doesn't like, you know, quote, woke things in media. And so what they do is that they give perspectives that are the opposite of what somebody like me would give. And that's really what they do. They just counterbalance it.
Months before release, controlled
Checked all the
environments,
boxes. Yeah,
curated
just check boxes.
slices of the game.
And I think a big reason that a bunch of these woke leftoid freaks even do any of this kind of stuff is to make people mad. They actually don't care if the product is good. They just want to make original fans of things mad and take over their thing and destroy it. And it pretty much worked, but they didn't realize that in order to keep doing that, you need money. And they're not making any money. They're losing a lot of money.
These journalists then leave.
And all these people are losing their jobs, and we're going to send them all back to McDonald's.
Yep.
They're all going back to McDonald's. They're all going back to Wendy's. They're all going back to Taco Bell. They're all going to be doing DoorDash. So it's annoying right now that we have to deal with it, but it will end, and it will end a lot sooner than you might imagine.
say that it's worth the wait,
very
and
soon.
of course they do, they have to. Then the review codes drop, massive RPGs, days to hit the embargo date, race to publish first, because being first means traffic, and traffic means money. You play the game,
Wow.
you write it, you score it, you move on as quickly as possible. And if the game's got problems that only show up after a dozen hours, or in the real world conditions that we actually experience, they miss them, or they don't have
Yeah,
time to
people don't
think
like
about
them.
them, or they just ignore them. Either way, the embargo doesn't wait. The system produced a 5-star review for a game that's now haunting the bloke that wrote it. The system is working exactly as it's intended. He didn't take a bribe, he just did exactly what the machine's designed to make him do, and now...
Yep, don't do that. Don't be a corporate freak. Be a normal person, or, you know, be anti-political. Be somebody like Asmongold when it comes to games like these. Even if you have different opinions, be like him.
He's plagued by it. Just not plagued enough to actually fix it.
Well, I mean, IGN does the same thing. They all do it.
And not just Asmongold. It's like Smash JT, Endymion, Legacy Killa HD, Luke Stevens, like all of those types of people. Dr. Disaster, Vera Dark.
The reason why these games get good reviews also is there's a degree of expectation in the industry, I think, in order for people to cooperate in a way that's beneficial for everybody involved. And so these companies, you know, they have these reviewers, they treat them well, and then the reviewers are expected to treat the company well. That's what happens.
But if you think that's just another example of games media being terrible at their jobs...
IGN gave Where Wins Me a 6 out of 10. Well, we'll
It's
see on
worse.
Friday.
In the same week, the Grammys announced their 2026 video game soundtrack nominations. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora made the list. So did Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So did Star Wars Outlaws. Claire Obscure.
How was Star Wars Outlaws? I don't get that one. That one's just fucking insane.
Expedition 33. You know, the greatest soundtrack in the last 20 years got nothing. Not even a mention. When was the last time you heard someone mention Avatar's soundtrack? Or Indiana...
No one, because nobody even played the game to know what it sounds like. Nobody
True.
cares about these games. They're garbage.
Yep.
They're slop. Nobody plays them. Nobody cares about them. They don't matter.
Jones's or Star Wars Outlaws.
That's it.
Go on any social media right now and try to find anyone talking about those soundtracks. They literally don't exist in the conversation whatsoever. Now search Claire Obscure and you'll find thousands of people calling it one of the best game soundtracks in years. It hit #1 on the Billboard Classical chart. It stayed...
The more and more this stuff happens, the worse it's going to get for these companies, by the way. There's going to be a major shift. We're definitely going to have problems. Still probably worse problems, but the problems are going to be different going forward. Just like they're different now compared to what they were 20 years ago and 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We used to have a problem with magazines. Now we got a problem with social media.
There for 10 weeks. The game sold 5 million copies, had no
Jesus.
massive marketing budget, just a small French studio that made something people actually loved. It's one of 2025's highest rated games, arguably one of the best RPGs of this millennium, a genuine phenomenon. And the Grammys ignored it completely. Meanwhile, massive triple...
Because they're biased. That's the reason why.
Play
The
games
Expedition 33, yeah, it didn't even make it to nomination. That's correct.
Literally nobody is talking about.
Nobody cares about this game. Nobody played the game. Nobody listened to the game. It's just a complete waste of space.
I don't know of anybody who is playing this game. Not a single person. And I watch a lot of people who stream. A lot of people who are actually in the gaming space, who are prominent figures. Nobody played this game.
Nations. Even the people who were nominated know it's a robbery. Austin Wintory, the composer nominated for his work on Sword of the Sea, said he was sad at the lack of Expedition 33 and said he'd happily trade places. A nominee...
Yeah, I think it's weird that they would give it to him whenever he didn't even say... Why would you even say this?
He openly saying that the game that got snubbed deserved it more than he did. So
Yeah, of
why
course.
did it happen? It happened for the same reason that Eurogamer gave Veilguard 5 stars. Visibility over...
It's a big club and you're not in it.
Yep.
Value. Sandfall Interactive...
Yeah, they kind of came out the gate swinging, but they weren't allowed to go through the gate.
is a small studio. No lobbying power, no industry clout, no ad spend at the Grammy voting events.
There you go.
Meanwhile, EA, Ubisoft, Disney, they've got the big budgets, the sponsors, the connections. Awards aren't about what's best, they're about who's loudest. The most...
Dude, I've been saying this forever. Why do people still watch the awards? I don't. I don't watch the awards. I don't watch any of these events like State of Play, the Xbox shows. I don't watch any of that because it's just hype slop. And I don't give a shit. I look through the Steam store every once in a while to see some games that I want that are on sale. Otherwise, get that shit out of here. I don't even care. I'll get Expedition 33 when it's on sale, even though it's one of the greatest games of all time. But I can play other greatest games of all time.
Visible, who pays, who you know, who you owe. Both of these examples are part of the same broken system. So keep this in mind, because if you're still reading day one reviews from these places, you're being lied to. But most of us worked that out years ago. The trust is gone now and it's not coming back, which makes what's happening with indie games.
I think that's also another very big factor, is that the video game companies that have done this they've burned the boats. There's never going to be a point where people listen or take seriously the reviews from these people ever again. It's over.
Yep, it's going the way of E3, where it just kind of falls apart because it becomes too corporate and nobody cares anymore.
And it's been over. So yeah, Eminem curling at Grammys for snubbing 50 Cent. Yeah, it's over. Like all of these companies and all of these different media companies, they are all biased. None of them should be trusted.
True.
The only people you should trust are individual YouTube creators, and even them.
I say this all the time. And yeah, you got to like get second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion.
Should take with a massive grain of salt,
Yep.
even including me.
There are a lot of games that he shit on that I like. There's a lot of games that he liked that I'm just like, nope, you're completely wrong. This is not a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's a 3 out of 10.
Even more impressive. When a game like Clair Obscur sells 5 million copies, it wasn't just handed that success. There were no fancy events, no awards considerations, no media access machines churning out hype. It
God,
took
this
the
fight was
hard
so
route.
good.
When Silksong launched and hit almost 600,000 concurrent players on
Think about how ridiculous that is. 600,000 concurrent players on a Metroidvania. That's like 10x the levels of success that like you've ever seen. That's nuts. Could a new one come onto the scene and have potential to be trusted? I think that trust is earned, not given.
Steam, 587,000 to be exact, breaking records, crashing storefronts. It did that based on one thing: trust in Team Cherry. 7 years of waiting, no over-the-top marketing campaigns, no lies, just a studio that delivered the first time and earned the belief and the trust that they'd do it again. That's what makes these successes so insane.
Yeah, see, I haven't played this game either because I don't play hype games. I play what I want when I want.
They did it without the machine, completely separate of it.
Well, this is something that's happened, is that video games no longer require the massive machine that they used to in order to go to market.
Yep.
You don't
and
need-
that's how you get people like me who just plays what they want when they want and don't buy into hype. I don't have FOMO.
Need to have a $100 million marketing campaign. You don't need to pay every big streamer to play your game. If you have a good game, the streamers will play it for free. And do you
True.
know why? Because it's fun and people want to see it.
And that's like the new big way to market your game. And it's not to buy the marketing of streamers. It's to allow them to play it for free.
People want to see popular games that are fun to watch be played, like Mega Bonk or Ball Pit or Expedition 33.
Or Among Us or any other game like that, like Fortnite, PUBG. That's how these games got popular. Call of Duty is still popular because of streaming.
You don't need to do any of this stuff. And because those gatekeeping apparatuses are falling apart, you're seeing these different companies that are basically having their, this is their dying thrashes of trying to stay alive and trying to stay relevant. And I think they're failing completely. They are. They're totally failing.
Yep, true. Absolutely true. And we've been saying that it's going to happen. And did they listen? Did anybody listen? No. I mean, a bunch of people were saying this online, like in droves, like, hey, this shit's turning bad. But there's just a constant wall of hate that we have to get through. Because there's deniers, there's people that are actively against people like us because they want the corporate slop, because probably a lot of them are invested in the stocks or invested in the game industry. Let's be honest. But other ones, they're just shit eaters. They're dick eaters. They barely play video games. They don't care. They're just like brain dead, just drooling while they're playing games. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's fucking weird. So I don't know nothing about Arc Raiders, and I've been hearing that this game is super popular, and I'm gonna check out the Arc Raiders story and lore explained. What happened to Earth, and who are the Arc? I don't know nothing about this. Let's check it out.
Have you ever wondered what the Arc robots actually are? Well, how about what happened
It seems kind of like a solar punk version of Helldivers 2.
to the world itself? Are there any other human settlements? Why do raiders go topside and so on? Well, there's actually a bunch of really cool and interesting lore that the game doesn't really tell you unless you go looking for it. While we aren't a lore channel, we do love a good world and story. We love learning more about the games we enjoy playing and getting an understanding of the story behind them and what we're experiencing while playing. So we thought some of you may want to know what exactly is going on too.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Blasting all of those rat players away and all of those don't shoot emotes that you hear. So let's dive in and answer some burning questions to better understand.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna get this game or not. I hear a lot of people saying that they love it, but I heard the same thing with
world of
Helldivers.
Arc Raiders. Do tell us if you
And I'm not really a fan of Helldivers.
like this kind of video. Would you like more lore videos or just our usual guides? We'll go with whatever gets the most votes below. And while there is a lot of fun theories and information out there, this video is made using official lore and codex entries, so hopefully we can pass this information along correctly. So first we have to start by understanding the different eras that the world went through before the Ark showed up. This brings us to the Collapse, a time said to—
This looks like Marathon just shit the bed, man. Like, this is what Marathon could have been, is something like this. This is a million times better.
have happened many generations
Like, this is how you do interior. It's not blocky, it's not weird and like claymation looking.
ago, where various combinations
Normal
of
colors,
devastating
normal lighting.
natural disasters
Like, this shit looks natural.
synchronized together to rid the Earth of her inhabitants, wiping out most evidence of what life was like before. From floods to scorching fires and earthquakes, it was terrible. It was
That
a
sounds
devastating
awesome.
event, and not
I mean, not awesome if that was to actually happen.
much before that is even
But for a
known
video game.
outside of the remains of previous civilizations that we see, like the now abandoned, buried, and forgotten cities on the surface. And this includes the buried city map itself that you've probably played on. This was
I
recently
have not played this game.
uncovered by strong winds, revealing parts of the city, which was once known as Murano before the collapse, and you can see this in the signs around the city itself. But there was still hope for people after the collapse. It's said that some societies survived, though after generations of darkness and decay, their tales have merged together with those of legends and lies. But this wasn't the fate of all
This kind of reminds me of Fallout meets The Walking Dead. Little bit, but without zombies.
humans, as there was also an historic event called the Exodus. You see, technology was fairly well advanced before the collapse, and space travel was just becoming an option for those who could afford it, seemingly
Yeah, that's too bad, man.
through a company called Acera. They say it's said that the world collapsed and a handful of valorous survivors managed to escape the destruction into outer space, boarding marvels of technology now long
That just looks so good. It's like post-apocalyptic solar punk. That's the only thing I could describe it as.
lost to the devastation. The cool part of this is that it ties into the spaceport map that we actually play on. You actually get to see an example of a launch tower that was used to fire those rockets off into space. They say, visible from miles away, the launch towers are a colossal monument to the fabled Exodus. They mark the end of what must have been an era of unimaginable technological progress, an era nearly impossible to imagine.
And the character reminds me of No Man's Sky mixed with the Division. And this isn't Unreal Engine, is it? Because it definitely doesn't look like it.
For those
who, you can usually tell when something's using Unreal Engine, and this does not look like Unreal Engine. They might have made their own engine.
Gaze upon the towers today. This is where the Exodus shuttles, vessels of hope and desperation, once roared into the heavens, leaving Earth behind. And well, this is particularly cool, because while we're currently playing across different areas of Earth, we know there are surviving people out there in space. Perhaps in the future we might get maps in space, on space
That'd be cool.
stations, or even something like the
I like space stuff. This seems very interesting to me.
moon. That really would
I've never actually played like an extraction shooter. That's what I'm hearing this game is.
be something. Another cool thing to know about the Exodus is the network of tunnels, tubes, and extract points that
That's
we
cool.
use in-game to ride
It's gonna be like Metro down there.
out to the different map locations, and these were actually built during the Exodus's construction efforts for
Oh, that's
transporting
crazier.
tons of
It's crazier than Metro.
materials between major sites, creating a vast network of cargo elevators and rapid transport systems, which have now been
That's cool.
repurposed and integrated into a
We
civilian
used to get a lot of these underground rail systems and these rail systems for transportation in video games. Whatever happened to that? Well, I guess we're getting it back here.
metro line.
Like BioShock, Dead Space, Metro.
With what I imagine to be the wealthy and elite gone from the Earth into outer space, and most of the Earth's population wiped out through the collapse, things were looking dire. But then came the Age of Sunrise. It's still remembered by those old enough who still live. They say generations after the collapse, this new era was marked by signs of restoration of the planet's ecology, as well as the rediscovery of old technology, and even some degree of organized society. You see, it was a time of optimism, when things started looking good once again, and many believed the worst was behind them, and they could rebuild and live
It's also kind of given me some lit up Resident Evil 6 vibes.
instead of just surviving. Through this program,
Like if you put more lights on in Resident Evil 6 and maybe make it more post-apocalyptic. I don't know. It looks really good. It looks like a lot of things that I like.
those that survived started to rebuild and improve their lives. And it's during this time that the hydroponic domes were built to make
And I also like post-apocalyptic worlds. Damn it, I might have to try this out. I don't know. Maybe try it out a couple hours. I could refund it if I don't like it.
people less reliant on gathering food. We can actually see and explore these domes in the Dam Battlegrounds map. They say they're situated in the fetid swamp by the Alcantara Dam. The hydroponic domes are both makeshift and more recent than the other structures in the area. It is said they've been built during the era of Sunrise, an optimistic experiment to turn society less reliant on gathered roots, mushrooms, and berries. So humanity had a brief pause and a breather between all of the disasters, and then, well, things went from bad to worse. The Ark arrived in a historic event known as the First Wave, said to be burnt into the memories of those who lived to tell the tale.
Kind of reminds me of the story of the 100 before the Earth exploded.
You see,
Spoilers.
Ark robots began raining down from the skies in large numbers, wiping out
I highly recommend that show, by the way. I love that show.
any semblance of progress and stability from the era of Sunrise. The first wave Ark, however, were very different from those we fight in-game now. They were completely rudimentary, and the first raiders very quickly found and targeted their weaknesses. They even built an extensive network of outposts and defensive structures.
They definitely got some inspiration from Terminator Salvation, which, by the way, underrated movie.
To help support their resistance, many of which are still seen topside in the maps now. Furthermore, if you've ever wondered why the Ark robots are called Ark, well, it's because those who are topside are referring to the Ark-shaped
That looks like the Atari logo.
display on their radar systems when they fly in from orbit, which leaves an arc on the monitor, hence the robots being called Ark. While it isn't known for sure, raiders have speculated on why the Ark have showed up and what their purpose is. What we do know from the Codex is that they have widely been observed probing the soil in great numbers, before harvesting natural resources with devastating efficiency. We can actually see this in the harvest event in
It looks like a Fashion Souls is going to be a pretty big deal.
game. It's a big
I like me some Fashion Souls as long as I don't have to pay for a bunch of skins.
structure guarded by a giant queen Ark that gathers resources to send back into orbit. Some have also theorized that the Ark were created by the humans that left to go into space and are being used to gather resources that they need, while others think they may be alien machines, so there's quite a few theories out there. But what is known for sure is that the first wave fight was a hard battle, But the raiders were resisting well, and then came the barons, the pinnacle of the Ark machines during
That's
the
cool.
first
That's really cool. I like giant things with lights that fight.
wave. The barons were a 6-legged mechanical walker with an imposing appearance, powerful attacks, and surprisingly adaptive behavior. The baron was a formidable foe for the first wave raiders, and after the last baron was brought down during the first wave, they were never seen again in the Rust Belt, although stories from afar claim that barons are still roaming desolated parts of
That's really cool.
Calabretta. A really cool thing
I would like to have a game set in this universe that was not a multiplayer game.
is that you can actually find the ruined and rusted husks of barons out in the in-game maps. They stand as a reminder of the impact of the first wave. The first wave eventually ended with the Battle of Victory Ridge, which actually happened on the Dam Battlegrounds map itself. They say the Victory Ridge is a rocky outcrop west of the Alcantara Dam. It was the scene of a fierce battle between Ark and organized raiders fighting from elevated positions along the ridge. The battle then marked the end of the first wave. So, humanity basically beat the Ark back. But the Ark are clever and they do adapt. We know from the Codex that the Ark's security forces are constantly refining their designs and tactics in the face of new threats. And so, this brings us to now, when we play, during what is called the Second Wave, a return of the Ark robots.
There's definitely going to be a third wave, right?
But this time they've
gonna
been
be worse.
improved and upgraded.
It's going to be much worse. Going to be giant robots everywhere.
The rudimentary machines of the first wave,
Like giant.
were nothing compared to the now sophisticated designs of the second. This forced humanity to hide underground, leading to a constant arms race between raiders and Ark. Much of the gear we actually use in-game is the result of reverse-engineered Ark tech. We know that inventors across Toledo have sought to repurpose Ark technology.
So there's like an in-game story going on while you do all this? So it's not just like a jump in, jump out kind of military shooter game?
In a way
That's
to
very
stay
interesting.
ahead, leading to the development of energy-based shields and various makeshift gadgets and grenades. So it's pretty cool that the shields we get in-game are actually made from Ark tech. And then we have Speranza, the oldest neighborhood of the underground city of Toledo. It was established as an independent settlement at the start of the second wave.
Toledo, Ohio?
And it was built into old subterranean infrastructure and buildings that were swallowed by sinkholes in the past. But the entire underground city of Toledo is much bigger, and it's made up of a patchwork collection of secluded neighborhoods that are isolated communities as they're very far away from each other and separated by rubble. They tend to look out for their own, but they have been known to collaborate together in the past. And this is where we as
If they turn this into a single-player RPG, they could rival Fallout.
come in. We are the only source of rare goods for most of the inhabitants of Toledo. But with these different isolated neighborhoods, it's caused raiders to become territorial and hostile to each other. And this is reflected in the
That's just what humans do, man. They look at each other, they're just like, hey, you're not me.
PvP of the game. Everyone is out for themselves and their community, trying to get the best loot back home, even if it means taking it off another raider. So there is some really cool lore behind the world, the Ark robots, the maps, and the things we encounter in-game. It's been really fun diving into all of this and learning.
Yeah, everything about this seems like something I'd be into, and it seems really cool. I just don't know about that gameplay. I'm going to have to check out the gameplay, I think, after this.
More about the game, so do tell us if you want more lore videos
I do.
or just more
I like the lore.
guides. We're happy to do either. And if you enjoyed this, a quick like is a great way to support us as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, that was a really good video. Did I like this already? Yeah, I did. Rex Gaming. Cool. I'm going to subscribe. Nostalgia Critic released a video about Lilo and Stitch 2025. Now, I have not seen the 2025 live-action Lilo and Stitch, but I did watch Elvis the Alien talk about it, and I love Lilo and Stitch. I love the original movies, and I love the show. I just recently watched the series, actually, to see if it was any good for, like, a 10-year-old boy to watch. And it turns out it still holds up. It's pretty good. So Lilo and Stitch 2025 from Nostalgia Critic. And I think he's going to say that it just kind of probably didn't need to be made. It's a little stinky.
Come check us out at Grand Rapids Comic-Con November 14th through the 16th. Hope to see you there.
I probably won't be. I won't see you there. Is he going to bring back the gun? I hope he's got the gun.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic.
Whoa.
Remember it so you don't have to.
It's been a while since I watched a Nostalgia Critic video. He's got gray in his beard, or actually, I should say it's white.
What are you doing here, Leo?
I came to get some advice.
I thought you were handed over to people who were going to make you a nostalgia kid.
I was.
And who are they?
Hello.
Ah! What are you doing down there? Exactly what you think.
We understand you're doing a review of the Lilo and Stitch remake.
So?
So they need your help making me more profitable in the future.
And how am I supposed to help with that? With our new invention?
The Bad Machine.
Is that a new
Bad
production
Machine.
company from J.J. Abrams?
No, it takes
Is this skit gonna be in the Bad Machine?
literally anything that's good and makes it bad.
But you're modern Disney. You're experts at that.
Or so they thought.
Yeah, the Snow White remake was a huge bomb, but the Lilo and Stitch remake was a huge hit.
So we're trying to figure out the formula. Is everything a formula with you guys? Formulas are the seeds for charts.
You see, the original Lilo and Stitch and Elio have a lot of parallels.
Yeah, they both have dead parents, aliens, a weird little kid, a single caretaker.
And they both didn't make much money when they came out.
So if we start working on a live
That's true. Did Lilo and Stitch not make very much money when it came out?
action remake of Elio now.
It's like one of the most loved Disney movies, I thought.
Oh.
And we speed up the profits. Oh, and you want to see my thoughts on this Lilo and Stitch so you don't make the same mistakes.
No, we want to make the exact same mistakes.
Precisely. The good movie bombs but gains a following.
While the bad remake thrives, but no one remembers it.
Change one. The moral.
Well, in both movies, it's about connecting with loved ones you're often at odds with.
Sounds too good.
Make it bad!
Now it's about disconnecting with your loved ones to a point where you practically abandon them.
Next!
Change two. The pacing.
Well, again, in both movies, they take their time and show the connections with all the characters, even the side ones.
Sounds too
So wait, is Nostalgia Critic loving this movie? What's going on here?
good.
Make it bad! Now it's edited like a TikTok video with half the scenes cut down.
Next!
Change three. The character.
Well, I mean, you have to buy into all the kids, you know, just watching brain rot, 2-second brain rot, and they're just scrolling through social media because their parents give them a phone at way too early an age. And Disney loves that.
You know what? I'm not helping you with this.
Oh, who needs you? We've got this.
Now Elio lives with his aunt instead of his single mother. Oh wait, we already made that change.
Yeah, and it was kind of lame.
Maybe we do need him. You know what? I'm just gonna do the normal review. If you want to see what's wrong with it, just listen in.
I suppose we can live with that.
Ooh, maybe we can find a way to finally make the Tron movies profitable.
You're fired.
Good.
You know, those
Get
who
out of
go
here. Dude, stop putting Jared Leto in movies.
Some history are doomed to repeat it, and those who exploit it will always exploit it.
At least I think that me and Nostalgia Critic mostly agree about movies. We don't agree politically, but we do agree about the movies. I think, most of the time.
Most of us thought we were out of the trenches with the Disney live-action remakes, with several of them not pulling in the numbers they desired. But then along came Lilo and Stitch, which was supposed
I don't know why they didn't just, like, make a new movie.
to be a Disney Plus movie, but
They're out of ideas. I know why. I was being facetious.
at the last minute, was given a big screen release. And boy, was that the right call, because between that and Moana 2, my guess is they're gonna do this more because these were gigantic hits. My guess is people were sick of Disney not understanding what made their fairy tale so special, but with a story that takes place in modern day, that's a little harder to goof up. I mean, the film's just a little over 20 years old versus Snow White, which is nearing 100 years old, so in more ways than one, people have a more modern connection with this movie. And I really enjoyed the original because even though it did have a lot of heart, it came from a believable place where just about every character could be wrong or mean or even violent. We like these characters because there is
Dude, this is just CG slop. I've seen so much CG in this already.
surprisingly an edge to them that you
And
can
I'm just totally not into it.
relate to. So it's more emotional when they want to get better. Like many of these remakes though, the edge is sucked out and they change
Like, why?
more
Just
emotional when they want to get better.
I think the little girl is the most fine thing in the entire situation.
These remakes, though, the edge is sucked out, and they change things that didn't need to be changed. Okay, I can't say this is anywhere near the worst.
What the fuck is
And they
Pleakley
changed
even?
things that didn't need to be changed. Okay,
Like, that's terrifying.
I can't say this is anywhere near
It looks like a booger, and his eye is very discolored.
the worst I've seen from this lame genre, but absolutely nothing improves on the original. So in what way does the company representing master storytellers misunderstand their own story again? Well, let's take a closer look. Because Lord knows if they're ever gonna learn their lesson.
How's this for a profitable bad idea? Avatar with beavers.
We're already making that.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh, I guess I forgot.
Everyone on the internet did. You're still fired.
Oh.
Let's take a look at the remake of Lilo and Stitch.
What does Disney got coming? They got Toy Story 5. I think that's about it. I don't know of anything else Disney has coming out. And usually I do, even if I don't like it. But now I think they just don't have anything going for them.
The film opens beat for beat like the first one, with the alien scientist Jumba, played now by Zach Galifianakis, being charged with having a dick nose worse than Alf. I mean creating a super weapon named 626. Yeah, phallic imagery is another weird thing this and Elio have in common. Chris Sanders again voices Stitch, who escapes from his prison, heading to Earth.
This is live action, by the way, and all of this is CG. This whole thing.
He took the red one.
We project he will collide with a planet.
And it's not very good CG at that. It looks like it was computer animated. If the whole thing was animated like this, then it probably would have been alright.
Called Earth.
So you might be shrugging, alright, seems like the first one, no more no less, but here's the thing. The intro in the original before the title is 10 minutes long. The intro here is 6 minutes long. Now, you might be wondering how a movie missing several minutes from the original is actually 20 minutes longer, yet somehow feels 40 minutes longer. It's because the editing is dog shit. Yeah, if you take that table scene from Bohemian Rhapsody that became a meme a long time ago, that's basically the entire movie. It takes place in Hawaii, but the shots aren't long enough to take in its beauty. Heavy moments that should be given time to breathe are trimmed down.
Yeah, it seems like most of what I've seen was inside of rooms.
And replaced with bad ADR.
You're gonna love.
Or like scenes like this where they're just on the beach, which could be in LA. It could be Florida, or not LA. I keep saying LA, like LA is right next to the ocean. Is LA? I don't even know. I don't know my American geography when it comes to cities. I don't think it's next to the ocean.
Stop pretending to my mom.
At least I don't tell the social worker I like jumping out a window.
Why do I have to be at your work? I'm sick.
Because someone got kicked out of Hula.
And they can get away with it because they're planning on you having seen the original. You'll confuse a rushed botch joke for being funny because you remember liking it when they actually put care into it the first time. Case in point, when Stitch says an alien swear word, you don't know what it means, but holding on one shot to show everybody's appalled reactions makes the bit work.
La Trusta! Naughty!
Now in the remake, see if this is nearly as funny.
La Trusta! So naughty!
Did it even sound like the
What the
councilwoman
fuck?
cared?
So naughty!
It sounds like she literally phoned in that line while getting her nails done.
Yep, nice read, Daphne.
The mic wasn't recording when I did that line? Okay, I'll do it again. So naughty. Good, bye. Now you can make the argument because this is a Disney live-action remake and there's so much repeating, it's nice they just want to rush past the stuff we already know. But is that such a great bar to have? Isn't that like saying, look,
No,
I
it
like giving away
definitely it's definitely bad. I'm glad that I didn't waste my time watching this, and I've watched it vicariously through other people.
balls with a hammer, but if I do it quickly, I can get through it all right. Or you could just not hit your balls with a hammer. Stop seeing these shitty remakes.
True. Stop with the remakes.
Cut to Earth, where we see Lilo, played by Maya Keloha, showing up late.
Like, I'm tired of remakes in every industry. Like, get that shit out of here. Come up with new ideas.
Her hula recital.
They don't know how to. They're out of ideas. AI's taken over. And AI doesn't create new ideas. They just make something out of things that already existed and just kind of like meld them together. And then they shit it out.
I got friendship bracelet too. Garbage girl puts garbage on her arm.
They make the bullies much more antagonistic, so when she gets revenge on them, it's not that out of place.
She's not.
Which is out of place. Because Lilo was kind of a piece of shit. And that was the point. so she could come around and be like, oh, I was being a giant piece of shit. I'm sorry. But instead, they have to make her justified for doing bad things. Why? What?
She's just not a good fit.
It's time to put her down.
Yeah, you'll find Lilo's not really that weird in this. She'll certainly say that she's weird and an outcast and everything, but on top of pushing the bully not being nearly as funny as straight up assaulting her, the bully doesn't sabotage Lilo, she just calls her crazy, causing Lilo to go from 1 to 100.
You're crazy.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, she was.
Lilo even tries to be friends with her immediately after, which is also covered.
And she even dresses different compared to all the other girls.
From this version. Yeah, that scene of her hugging the doll. Time-wasting crap, not needed. But you see, part of the charm of Lilo is that she did feel like a real kid, but she was also still odd and troubled and grieving. This made her more complex and interesting. We sympathize with her and recognize these cries for help, even if she didn't.
My friends need to be punished.
Yeah, that's funny. I like that. That was a good line.
Again, compare these two scenes.
I had to get a sandwich for Pudge. He's a fish.
So you're late because you fed a sandwich to a fish?
Yeah, Pudge controls the weather.
That kind of sounds like a normal thing a kid would say. But in the original...
I'm late because I had to go to the store and get peanut butter because all we have is stinking tuna. Pudge controls the weather.
That kid is going through something.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the writing is just so Johnny Tsunami, you know? Like old school Disney straight to TV movies. That's the kind of vibes that put off.
Her older sister Nani, played by Cindy Algadong.
Not a full theatrical production. Like, dude, movies like Halloween Town are better than this.
Finds herself missing Lilo's recital. Don't worry, Peter Panning's assistant recorded the whole thing.
The social worker is here. You can pout later, Lilo.
That's not how pouting works.
Like the original, Lilo locks Nani out of the house just as the social worker arrives. Only this time in the clever cameo, she's played by the original voice of Nani, Tia Carrere.
Aloha, Lilo. How are you? Is that...
Wait. She's the social worker? Where's the black dude? Where's the big black dude? Why?
Blood?
I've been practicing jumping out of my window.
Ha, she's kidding.
Carrere is fine in the role, offering a lot more warmth and support, but Cobra Bubbles is
Yeah, he's clearly a better character. What were they thinking?
Clearly more entertaining and makes the humor much better, as he clearly has no sense of humor,
Especially in the second one.
Making the moments where things go wrong much more stressful.
Nani, we both know this didn't go well today.
In case you're wondering, this did not go well.
The scenes are so rushed, they don't even mention how the parents die. In fact, when I first saw it, I didn't even hear them mention that they died. The action that sets everything in motion is practically glossed over.
I know it hasn't been...
Yeah, I think I heard, probably from the Elvis the Alien video, that they were abandoned by their parents and instead of them dying or something like that.
That long since your parents passed away.
Just assume Lilo's fish sent a hurricane after them.
Well, okay, so they did pass away. But she also says that they were abandoned.
You're gonna need that health insurance for when I kill you!
Nice read, Velma, this time.
Quick, hide in a pizza box!
What's better than listening to you?
Go to your room!
I don't eat in my room!
That's so believable.
So the good news is, the acting is pretty great. I do believe these two are sisters, and they...
What? I think he's phoning it in on that one. That was not believable at all. What the fuck are you talking about?
bring a lot of charm.
Maybe I was wrong about us agreeing about movies.
If they didn't get good actors for these roles, I'm convinced everything about this would fall apart. But again, the rushed pacing ruins so many important moments. Remember when Nani talks about them being separated and Lilo starts to tear up but pretends not to? That's gone. Replaced with their neighbor, played by Amy Hill, giving some bad exposition dumps.
What? Your acceptance letter to your dream school magically taken out of your trash and appearing in your bag at your place of work?
Oh, wow, what? That's crazy.
Christ, I've seen instruction manuals explain less. Yeah, they set up this subplot about her wanting to be a marine biologist, even though she never talks about or ever shows any interest. But thankfully, that gets in the way of major emotional scenes from the original, like when Nani said she'd rather have a rabbit than a sister, leading to this moment.
I like you better as a sister than a mom. And you like me better as a sister than a rabbit, right?
Oh.
That's a real emotional moment, and there's a lot more like it in that scene. In the remake, it's literally delivered as a punchline.
I like you better as a sister than a mom.
Ouch.
God damn it. All right. I can't handle any more of this. That's where I'm going to end today's show. If you want to watch the rest of this video, highly recommend. I've got it linked down there in the description. Dude, oh, I couldn't take any more Lilo and Stitch. This was more than I thought that he was going to talk about it. More than I thought he was going to show. I'm just out on this. I'm out on anything Disney. They're not going to come back for me. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. Tonight's show. I need to start saying tonight instead of today. Even though when this comes out in the re-edit and upload, it'll be today. It'll be a day. Anyway, check out the Patreon. I got it in the description. And I will see you over on YouTube streaming. I think Resident Evil 7 is what I'm still playing by the time this goes up. See you there.